All right, everybody, welcome on back and good afternoon to all. Continuing along, of course, our Tuesday post-Traders Talk edition of our afternoon meeting. Welcome on back for all of our members here inside our live trading room and streaming across social media, as always, Facebook and YouTube Live. Great to see you guys. Let's get a quick sound check just to begin. Make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear. There we go. Got the whole team. John, Wayne, Guy, William, Mark. You guys are coming in too fast for me here. Great to see everybody live right here in our Cyber Group trading room. And like I'd said, streaming on social media. So let's go into it, guys. Let's start with the Dow to begin. We ended up seeing more of a topsy-turvy day for the Dow, if that's how you'd like to phrase it. The Dow, at least now, pushing over where it had actually closed from yesterday afternoon. I think that was like right around 25.6. So at least you could see upon the market opening, we ended up having a nice recovery. The Dow was down overnight, so it recovered early on after the market had opened up. A little bit of a pullback going into the early afternoon, and like I just said before, across the Dow, you could see it pushing right through 25.6, and that's essentially where it had closed going into yesterday afternoon. So, hopefully some of the side list stocks will, look at the very end. Obviously, this Pola trade, as you could see here, it's, at this point, our top percent gainer across going into the afternoon, and this has been the star of the trading room, at least today. So we ended up seeing this one pretty much early on, a lot of activity early in the pre-market. We ended up seeing this at least, by 9 o'clock, pulling back after 9:30, but then almost instantly after, we ended up seeing it just explode right over 2. And then from that point, just built this perfect trend off the lows, running up to 3. And like I'd said, typically going into the mid to late morning, you'll see a big volume dump off here. So, I would have expected this to just finish up and pulling back lower like it did. So to see this second big move up is pretty refreshing. It's something that we normally don't see for a stock like this. My only concern is that at this point now, I hope to see this continue to push, but normally, as I typically say, for a stock to make a clean move up after the market opens is one thing. To expect it to make a second clean move, almost just like you're seeing here, actually better. This is making a bigger second move here than it has made, at least across the market open in its first move. So I hope that at this point, the run is not done. I'll put this on our list going into the afternoon. I thought I had the new snippet here from Benzinga Pro. I'll tell you, I don't see anything here. It was on our pre-market watch list. It was on the CTU morning watch list, of course, that we do right after 9 o'clock. Let me see if I can go into my platform here. We'll see if there's any news from TradeStation. Yeah, I got nothing here. It says jumped up so-and-so percent on Monday, but that was pretty much it. There's no news that I see here from TradeStation as well. For any of us inside the live trading room, if you guys have the news, I guess if you want to help me out, just post it. But at least for right now, we'll focus on this for the meantime. I ended up making a little pop and drop from 350. The 350 is where we had more volume on the ask just a moment ago, but you could see it started cutting through it. 364, the high of the day for right now. You could also see a couple of larger orders on the ask at 353 and at 355 and at 358 even. Oh my God, it's like a whole strip of these, 10, 20,000 share orders that are currently on the ask above 350. So to be honest, that's not that good of a sign to see continuation. At least for right now, we'll keep this on our list. Maybe we'll make the bottom end going into the afternoon. Definitely a great trade, at least from earlier today. Pola. All right, so aside from Polo, we did pretty well on a couple of these others here. We'll jump to Blink, BLNK for right now. Blink is not an afternoon trade as much. Ended up making a small little bounce shortly after the market had opened up. 520 you could see is the low of the day, but really once this ended up making a second and third crack over resistance that we had at 6, that's really when it started to explode. So, you could at least see that. The Blink trade broke over 6 once, ran from 6 to 640, 650-ish, and then made a second run at least going into the mid to late morning. But, at that point now, it's just dumped off. I feel like this trade is done for the afternoon. Definitely a good stock to keep in mind for the remainder of this week. If not this week, then even next. We've been following this across the last 2-3 days, as you could see on the daily chart. So no surprise that it ultimately did pull back today. We've had so many stocks just explode day over day. I say this at times, sometimes I feel like we can get spoiled with seeing so many crazy moves. This stock ended up running from 250 to 3 back on Friday. Then Monday yesterday ended up gapping up and running up that much more. And another run in the pre-market here today or overnight. You can't keep expecting it to run up higher and higher all day, every day. So, at least for right now, I'm not going to put this on our main watch list, although it is, holding support, technically a higher low off the low of the day at the open. Hopefully tomorrow. But yeah, for right now, I wouldn't expect this to make a second big move here. All right. We went over a couple that did well. The Pola trade, the Blink trade, a couple duds though here. ATHE for a stock that was up, 100, 125% early on in pre-market. The pullback at the market open is the easiest call out. It's the easiest part of my job to say, hey, watch the pullback, guys, because it's just so successful. We tend to see sell off, profit taking right as the market opens up for this ATHE trade. I'm going to copy and paste the news here inside the trading room and then across the social stream here. So otherwise, though, ATHE trading higher after the company received development pathway for its from its meeting with the FDA for so-and-so drug. Sounds like great news, right? Doesn't mean the stock's going to run today, guys. It ended up making that big run early on in the pre-market. It wouldn't surprise me to see this stock just tank going into the close. Maybe $1. Lucky number one would be a strong support, but I'm not going to bank on that going into this afternoon. Hey, maybe tomorrow, just because it dumped off today. This is even for that reason more so. I'd say keep it on your watch list for tomorrow, maybe for Thursday or Friday this week. I'm hoping at some point we see a bounce on this. It would make for a very fantastic trade, but at least for right now, I'd expect this to even break lower going into this close. All right. This one, then what was the other one? BYFC, right? Another pre-market move early on. This was the better pre-market trade of the two, but of course, the same result after the market opened up. Giant dump off, ended up holding support for a bit around 250, 260 pre-market resistance, but a very short-lived hold, ended up dumping back down and breaking lower here, as you can see. Now, the difference, though, between ATHE and this, at least you could see with this, guys, history does have a tendency to repeat itself. Look on the freaking daily chart here. And actually, not even before this day. Well, look here. News had to have come out back in mid-June, 2 weeks ago. Big gap up. It was up probably, 100+%. Ended up popping, but then dumping. And then a couple of days later, we saw a pre-market run, then exploded out the gate. But what was the end result? Dumped back down and ended up closing lower than it had even opened up. So this stock does have a tendency to make that pump and then dump back down type of move. All right, I'll tell you guys, what we'll do is go from top to bottom for any of the others that we ended up trading, calling out at least early on after the market opened up. We'll run through them briefly. 3 of the top 4 we covered here. APEX, cheapy. This one we did call out. It was more so going into the mid-morning. After 10 o'clock, we called this out. It was off a buck. At the time, didn't really give us too much to work with. But as you can see now, at least, it didn't break lower technically. It held the 80 level, pushing up to make this W pattern type, moving up towards a buck, $1.02. It's actually $1.05, let's say, right? Yeah, $1.05 is holding pretty nicely on the chart. I would assume this stock to be trading 5-cent increments, guys. Essentially every 5 cents for there to be some larger order on the bid or the ask. 95 cents, you could see that. This is shaking around $1.05 or so. $1.10, there's 29,000 shares. $1.15, there's not that much there just yet, but watch the ask. I'm sure you'll find more sellers join once we happen to see this continue to push up. What's the news on this Apex trade? Have it going into this meeting. I always like to say, guys, it's interesting to know the news. It's cool to know the news. It doesn't make me base decisions primarily. So I just wanted to take a look. I don't have anything even from Benzinga Pro. I have something here from mid-June, earnings from mid-June, the 17th. But aside from that, nothing news related on this Apex trade. All right, well, I do like the pattern on the chart. For right now, I'll put this on our main list, APEX, and seeing if this could squeeze up higher going into the close. Up to 105. There's the pop so far. With good reason, we're going to keep this on our list, at least for now. There's SPAQW, SPAQW. Interesting. Another warrant. There's Blink again. I'm not expecting much out of that going into the close. I like the range from the last 2 days. This SHLO, I actually had a ping from this on Benzinga just at 130. I didn't really think much of it at the time. Ended up making a very strong run, though, from essentially $1.10 the breakout up towards high of the day, 161. If there's one reason why I'm easily going to put this on our list, guys, I mean, just guaranteed this will be on our list. The one reason I am going to guarantee this on our list is the fact that it's shortable. So normally a stock around this price range would be hard to borrow or otherwise impossible to borrow. So for as big of a run as this stock made, we're hoping to see continuation, of course. It already pulled back quite a bit. But if this ends up failing to break higher and comes back down, at that point, I'd say, hey, this could be a decent short opportunity. So I'm still focused primarily on the long off the breakout. And again, I'll actually dip right back to Benzinga and just see what the news is for this trade. SHLO. Shiloh Industries. I don't know if Benzinga Pro is slipping or what, guys. I don't see any news on this SHLO. I see news from the 16th as well, not earnings related, but it says the company amended its agreement to bank lenders to provide additional financial flexibility. Interesting. We ended up seeing back from mid-June, not really much of a reaction from that news at the time. So, at least for now, nice run up. We'll continue to follow this trade SHLO. I'd say, if anything, it's like a level 2-ish stock based on the spread, the liquidity on the order book, etc. All right, BE a little slow, but at the highs of the day, I always like to bring the stock up when needed because we followed this stock. Not even going back into April, we're talking at the end of last year. This stock at the end of last year, I just remember this, was breaking all-time lows. That was the all-time low for this BE trade. And it actually was shortable at the time too, conveniently enough. Ended up running back up, as you could see, dumped back down with the market. It's an energy stock, ended up moving back up. And of course, today at the highs. So going into the afternoon, I'll easily just put this on our list. It's at the highs going into the afternoon. Would love to see this break higher, but otherwise it is shortable. So if we see profit taking, that's where I'd say you see a good opportunity to short this. All right, we'll put the BE on our list at least for now. We'll keep going, go from top to bottom, just skim through the rest of this for right now. CPSH, nice little squeeze up so far. I'd say this is probably more of a level 2 to level 3 stock in terms of volatility. The spread's kind of opening up a little bit. Nice run up though, ended up, of course, just making a new high. You know what? I'm actually going to come back to this one. We'll keep this on the side for the meantime. I just want to come back to this. I'm afraid just seeing the volume totally die off here as it just did for this to pull right back down, for this to be a pump and dump type move. So I'll come back to this. It looks good so far. Talk about pump and dump. Carve, right? Needless to be said. HIMX, nice run up. Semiconductor stock. Maybe I'll put that on our main list. OPTN ended up making a nice mid-afternoon break. A lot of volume came into this trade going into 12 o'clock right off the 8 level. Took a couple of attempts, but of course, as you guys could see, once it rebroke above resistance at 8, ended up making this parabolic move up, ended up making this dump right back down. So again, nice trade on the OPTN from earlier, but for right now, we'll pass. CTRN, if anything, I'd say just very little volume traded per minute on this. I like the fact that it's at the highs, but for right now, we'll pass as well. All right, we'll just skim through, guys. I mean, there's still plenty that's up big percent-wise going into this afternoon. I'm just trying to find some familiar names at least. AAOI is a bit of a familiar name. Applied, what is this? It's the company name here. Applied Optoelectronic. Wow, I'm surprised I got that in one shot. Applied Optoelectronic ended up making a nice push. It looks like a pennant building here where the highs and lows are trying to squeeze in here. So we'll see where this ends up breaking. My guess would be lower for right now. But yeah, AAOI, I'm going to put on our main list, guys. And if we take a look on the daily chart, this stock had tumbled off across the last 2 years, 3 years. The stock was like a $90 stock, if I'm not mistaken, 2 years ago. Yep. That's right, 3 years ago, basically. So this AAOI pumped up and dumped back down. This stock has incredible range just on the daily chart over the last year and a half. So seeing this at the highs right now, I do like this AAOI trade. All right, eye on the time. It is 2:45 Eastern time, guys. So let's try and rip through the rest of the gainers side. We'll hop over to the losers list next. DGLY, not really doing it for me. Ended up popping earlier, at least. Oof, look at this OPK trade go. OPCO Health, another Corona stock that we ended up trading back, a few months ago at this point. They've made the testing kits, if I'm not mistaken, for COVID. Not vaccine related, but testing kit related. I don't know if there's extra news out on this trade since, but obviously a very nice run across the whole day. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I called this out earlier. I forgot that I even did it up until now. Obviously a slow-moving stock, so this is just pushed up across the whole day. And yeah, for right now, it's hard for me to not put this on our main list. All right, cool. We'll keep it going. I don't even want to look at U1 and U1K because if Carve is making that pump and dump move down, I'm going to assume the same for the other two. WKHS, this was expected, just a matter of time. Obviously, we were talking about the stock breaking all-time highs going into yesterday and today. Ended up making a nice continued move that we caught inside our live workshop traders talk. Ended up dumping right back down, though, off the 20 level. And as you could see, just still pushing a bit lower. All right, guys, that I think is it. Maybe just check out this NK trade from the gainers side. Big move up from earlier today as well. I forgot about this too, the NK. This has been one we've kept on our radar, more on than off. I mean, as you could see, just going back into late May, Memorial Day weekend, we saw this make a huge pop from essentially 5, 6 up towards 8. Ended up continuing later on a few weeks later and popping last week for us. So I wouldn't mind coming back to this. I just think the reason I wouldn't trade this or put this on our list, I love the support holding here. That's great. The volume has just been dying off. I mean, really from the morning. And as this was pulling back and filling support, well, it only continued to dump off. So this really needs to make a strong push up here sooner than later. Otherwise, I would just expect for it to eventually just drop a little bit lower. All right, so we'll hop over to losers list, guys, seeing if there's anything on that side of the field looking good. Actually, kind of surprising. There's a good number of stuff that's shortable, that's easy to borrow on the top of the losers list. OCX made a nice dead cat bounce as soon as the market opened up, ended up squeezing from 150, 155 all the way up towards 197. For right now, though, as you could see, just looking at the flattened trend, the sideways move, we're not going to put this on our list. With how much this stock dropped off even today and even with the recovery, I'm still going to keep this on my radar going into the rest of this week, this OCX trade. All right, free W is Faust. If Fausto was doing this meeting right now, guys, if he was subbing in for me right now, he would emphatically get up and say, this is garbage. Just get this out the way here. We're not going to trade this. Trading 1 million shares. Got the VCR, VRCA trade, same deal. Extremely low volume total across the day. LQDA, man, not a whole lot looking too great. I'm going to jump ahead, actually. One that's hard to borrow, but INO, for as much as this stock has dropped over today, hopefully, and as you could see, it already held support off the lows and at 24. So, maybe this can make, a nice little squeeze back up. It has so far for about $1, but given how far it's dropped off across the whole day, maybe we could see more. I wouldn't mind just putting this INO back on our main list. I was saying to you guys earlier here on this trade that we were looking out for hopeful support on this trade off of 27. Ended up going down to 27, but that's exactly why we try not to catch the falling knife, try and buy off the bottom here. I was hoping to see this break under 27, but right back over 27. The thing just kept on dropping here. So, at least for right now, held support off 24 and back over 25. I would say this stock is easily trading 50-cent levels, 50-cent increments, so to say. All right, trading 26.5+ million shares. GNW ended up making a big drop off early in pre-market, dumped off after the open, and at least since has squeezed up rather nicely. It's a nice level 1, level 2 trade. The difference between this and the OCX is just the recent move, the recent activity. Both are shortable, both are cheap, both are more level 1, maybe, I'd say. So, yeah, I mean, I think for right now, this GNW won't make the top of the list, but it will make the cut for right now. All right, I think that's it, guys. I was looking at solo leading into the morning today, and the key phrase there is leading into the morning because this stock only continued to dump off after and not really looking that great at this point. Obviously, a big move from yesterday, so the pullback is not surprising. Hopefully, this stock ends up making a second move later on this week. All right, we got from a couple of us on YouTube and also Terrence here in Insider Trading Room. WKHS just made a bounce, and it did, right? Given how much this stock ran up over the last week, and of course, all-time highs are factored in, right? When there's an all-time high, there's no historical, data to work with. So that's what allowed this to freely run up so well across the last few days. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, this thing's bouncing really nicely now. And if you were in from 1650 or a little bit above that price, you were doing great. I just don't expect this to make a second big move up going into the close, or however many at this point, third or fourth or fifth move up going into the close over the last week. So, it's kind of in line with I&O in the sense that it's just very volatile, trades a big range over the last week. With I&O, though, this stock has already pulled back from Friday, and going back into today, it got crushed. So this is on the bounce. I feel like there could just be more room to see WKHS, pull back more. Mark just picked up 23 cents on the I&O trade. He jumped in from 24.88. Very nice job, Mark, inside our live trading room. All right, cool. What else do we have here, guys, on YouTube, at least for right now? I don't think I was able to see the comments on Facebook yesterday, so if anyone was posting Facebook, I didn't have a chance to see it. I apologize. BKR from Doug. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how I missed this. Oh, I know why. It's just not up enough percent-wise. This thing is moving great at this point right now, guys, right? New highs. It's only up 3%, so it didn't make the gainer side. But this is from Doug inside the YouTube stream. Very good call, Doug. Now, we'll take a look at a couple of others here. I don't want to load the list up with so many stocks that look just like this, that are up 2%, 3%. PAA making the same type of move Doug's commenting on here. So, hey, those trades look really good. If we have like 20 of those stocks making the same pattern, I'm not going to put them all on the same list, though, right? I would want to find one that's just more volatile compared to the rest, one that's providing a better opportunity to trade. Yeah, so let's see. We'll go to the side list stocks. Since we started this meeting, the Dow pushed up just about 15, 20 or so points, not a whole lot. NCLH doing nothing. UAL doing nothing as well. Not a whole lot going on market-wise here, guys. Penn's a more volatile side list stock. Lower highs, at least, and filling in sideways ultimately. But, this would be a better stock from the side list, I'd say. But I'm not going to put any of these on our main list for right now. What's even worse? I think my Benzinga Pro just crapped out on me. I had this alert page set up here. Let's see if I can get it up and running. I was going to close out just taking a look at that list, but let's take a look. APWC. I got a ping here. Ooh, nice catch. This thing's pushing up really nicely. Obviously, this thing just exploded over the last 5 or so minutes from $1.05 up to $1.25. Normally, this stock, looking at the volume total across the day, I'd say it's too low at this point. But obviously, most of this volume is just filled over the last 5 or so minutes. The volume total, obviously, as well, is going to increase over time. Typically, at this point in the day, we'd look for stocks trading at least 500,000 shares. That's what I'm referring to there. But yeah, this APWC trade, I don't know what the hell happened here news-wise, but we're going to put this on our list. Hopefully, it just doesn't dump back down. Tight spread, liquid order book. So for those reasons, mostly I'm going to put this on. Got a couple of expensive ones here. Otherwise, IHPI, it's just not within our price range there. Space, I got a ping for Space, Virgin Galactic, running up pretty well here too. It's only up 3%. This is more volatile, though. I mean, just given the price, given the liquidity, and the fluctuating spread at times, fairly contained right now. This is one that we're all fairly familiar with, this trade, at least inside our live trading room. Space. You know what? I might just put Space on our list, and I think that'll do. WWR worth watching? Yeah. Wow. So another one that's up 15+%. Breaking a new high as we speak. I don't know if this is in the same business, the same sector as APWC. Obviously, I'm doing this meeting right now. I'm unsure. We'll take a quick look. Is this Asia Pacific Wire and Cable Corp? So I don't know. We'll see. Research. So let's see. Sector, technology, industry, communications. I mean, that's all within the name. That's expected. But we'll take a look at WWR later. Both are popping right at the same time here. Yeah, I don't think they're the same company. They're in the same business, the same sector, so to say. But, I mean, great call. WWR. Let's see. Maybe I am wrong with that. Nope. Yeah, totally wrong. Metal mining here for this trade. All right. Well, either way, Leda, great call. This WWR ended up making a huge pop going back into early June, dumped right back down, though, as soon as the market opened up. We'll keep going, though, on the daily chart. Looks like over the last year and a half, this stock had tumbled off quite a bit. So seeing this stock drop off over so long time that we've had on the daily chart, seeing this at the highs of the day going into this afternoon, it has the makings for a continued move up much higher, much like that APWC trade. All right, cool, guys. We have a big list now, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. Actually, not too big, at least for my doing. All right, so I'll post and tweet the list to all of us here right now. That goes across the board to all of us inside our live trading room, all of us on the stream. And for all of us on the stream, if you guys would like to learn more about what we're offering here at Cyber Trading University, our live trading room, our live course room as well, for all of our students here at least, keep in mind, Fausto himself will be continuing the Phase 3 stock course tomorrow. So tomorrow, market open, market close, you'll have the chance to see the man himself trade live and just follow our picks. All right, guys. So for anyone on the streaming looking to learn more, just give a call to the phone number down below. One of our education advisors will just pick up and provide more detail. All right, guys, let's try and close out this afternoon just as well as we had opened it up. I'll talk to all of us inside the live trading room pretty shortly. Take care.